Hey, good morning. Well, we are got another big challenge ahead of us this week. Really having a few days to dive into Florida State. They're still Florida State. I know their record is 4-3 right now, but they kind of got off to a slow start. New coach, new systems, new everything. And, I think it took them a couple games to kind of figure out a little bit maybe who they are and get in stride a little bit. But really should probably have won the last four in a row. But they're 3-1 in their last four games and really starting to play some good football. Offensively, Francois, he's a very good player. They've got great skill outside. Two great running backs in Akers and Patrick. Patrick's like 235, but really good players. Francois is a good thrower. He's mobile. They, I think, have figured some things out up front in the offensive line as far as getting guys in the right place. I think that was an area for them early that they were trying to figure out. And really good tight end. They got a freshman receiver that I think is going to be a really special player, Terry, a 6'4" guy, looks a lot like Justin Ross. So just, they're typical Florida State. Definitely the best ends we've seen. This defensive line they got really, really good. 99 leads the nation in sacks. He's long, fast, twitchy. They've got really good depth at defensive end and defensive tackle, and they play them. Big, thick, physical, strong guys inside, fast and athletic at linebacker, and really good in the secondary. Very skilled, very talented. They're one of the best in the country against the run. I think they're like sixth maybe in the country versus the rush. So, again, their record is not same old Florida State right now, but their talent is. And, I know this is my 10th year as the head coach, and I think I'm 1-9 against them in recruiting rankings. So I think the only time we've ever so-called recruited them is last year. And that's it. They got a bunch of cats. They got a bunch of good football players on that roster. And, again, really starting to hit their stride. Left-footed punter who's a good player. Dangerous returners. That little number 29 who plays the slot for them is also their punt returner. And, I mean, he takes a lot of chances. He's one of the best, out there. Really good player. So, it's a dangerous football team that I think is kind of figuring out their identity and kind of buying into what Willie's trying to get them to do. And so we're going to have a huge challenge for sure. There's no doubt. But for us, it's kind of same old every week. Biggest game of the year. This is another game for us within our division that gives us a huge opportunity to try to stay in control of the division. That's really what it comes down to, and not put yourself at the mercy of something else happening. And so that's the focus of our team, is just having another great week of preparation, trying to build on the momentum that we've created. I think we've got a lot of confidence right now, but we've got a lot of improving to do. There's so much that we can continue to do better, but I like the progress that I've seen. I like where we are. I think we're a team kind of like Florida State that's kind of figuring some things out as far as who we are and who can do what as we've moved through the first half of the season too. So excited about it. It's always a great place to go play a ball game, and it's a place we haven't had a ton of success at. So again, got a lot of respect for their program, the place we're going to be playing, and certainly their players. Very, very talented across the board.
Coach, Willie Taggart came to visit here, watch practice. I think it was the spring before last. What was it like getting to know him a little bit?
It was good. That's the first time I'd met him. Did not know him at all, really. I mean, I knew who he was, but I had never been around him or met him. Certainly had a good reputation. Done a great job at Western Kentucky, and then on down there to South Florida. And if you look at what he did at those programs, I mean, he kind of built them and got them going. I don't know that he had great starts at either place, but he built them and got it going, which is probably why he got the Oregon job. So it was right before his first season out there when he came through here, and then obviously I've had a chance to be around him a couple more times through our ACC meetings, but I think he'll do a great job. I think he's a good fit and good man.
Do you see any influence from those conversations when you turn on the tape and things you guys maybe talked about that he's incorporated into his scheme offensively, defensively?
Not really schematically. I think that they're very committed to who they are. I don't think that I think his visit here was just a little bit more kind of program type stuff. I think schematically they're very convicted in what they do, and we're very different. I mean, very, very different in what we do offensively. There's a few things that are similar, but different more than similar.
Can you kind of, with Willie changing out, bringing in a whole new offensive philosophy and that change happening with the dynamic of the previous team being recruited for Jimbo's style of offense, can you elaborate on how hard that is to come in year one and make that happen?
I think it's hard, and I think that's probably speaks to what happened in their first few games. Just trying to, kind of everybody trying to figure it out. It's one thing to go out there and have spring practice, another thing to go play. I mean, because they want to be tempo, kind of like Syracuse. I mean, really fast tempo, a lot of snaps, a million screens, zone read, a little bit of counter. Some jet sweep stuff, multiple formations, a lot of bunch sets, and really, really wide splits. So they and then play fast and try to create space and one-on-ones. But I think, and obviously that's very different from who they were. So I just think it's, taking them a little time to kind of hit their stride. And, the Virginia Tech game kind of got away from them early. Sanford came in there with a hot quarterback and a heck of a plan. I don't know what Sanford's record is, but I'll tell you what, I was impressed watching that bunch. That quarterback that they got at Sanford is a baller. He's a good player, but they kind of hit some big plays on them, but Florida State ends up winning the game, and they just kind of found their stride. Syracuse, just got to their quarterback. And that was the biggest issue in that game. But I think the same thing, just those first few games, I think coaches and probably the players, everybody kind of figuring out, who can do what and exactly what their identity was going to be. But they've really settled in. And again, we're right there in position to win the Miami game. Led most of the game. So just a team that is 3-1 in their last four, and that's really all that matters is this game. Records don't matter. If records matter, then Purdue doesn't beat 7-0 Ohio State, right? Records don't matter. You got to play the game. I mean, heck, we lost to Syracuse last year, and they won 3 games, and we were undefeated. So that stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the game that you're getting ready to play. That's why you have to prepare and respect every opponent and understand. And I mean, again, as I just said, if you don't think they got talent, then you're not paying attention. That's a bad assumption. So if the recruiting rankings mean anything, we're 1-9 against them in my 10 years. So they got plenty of talent.
If you were in a
Say that?
Christian was saying yesterday this is the most fun he's had. Just what have you seen from him, both on the field and his personality and that kind of stuff this year?
I just think, he made a decision to come back, and he's been so intentional in everything. I just think he has truly enjoyed the entire journey, all of it. Mat drills. He had fun in mat drills. I just think he's been so committed to what he came back to do. He loves his teammates. You don't make a decision. I mean, the guy graduated last December, so you don't make a decision like that unless you really, really love where you are and who you're with and what you do and all that stuff. So I just think that he knows that this is it. And he last year this time he was torn, and it was, I think, heavy on him. Whereas now he knows this is it. And I just think he has really gone about it in a way where he's just enjoyed all. I mean, you go back to spring game. I mean, he's playing safety, just having a ball. You know, he has just had a blast. He's an unbelievable teammate. He's one of the best leaders I've ever been around, and just a dynamic personality, but a great football player. And he's taken such great care of his body. We've been able to play a lot of guys. I think our guys are pretty healthy right now and fresh. I think that's a real key for us down the stretch, especially guys like Christian. You know, how they feel right now at this point in the season. But he's just enjoyed it all. I mean, just, you know, homecoming last Wednesday, going out and we're handing pizzas out at the floats. And, I mean, he just I think, loves the whole college experience and is just trying to really finish strong. He takes a lot of pride in his role as a leader, and he'll show up today and he'll be excited for Tuesday practice because that's just who he is and how he's wired.
What about his play on the field and so forth?
Been awesome. I mean, he's been great, disruptive, consistent. He's been a leader out there. He's been great.
To turn the tables a little bit, if you were an opposing coach and you're playing Clemson this week and you turn on the tape and were telling us, describing Clemson in a couple sentences on offense and defense, how would you describe it?
Talented, play hard, team that finds different ways to win, and you know, a group that looks like they have fun playing the game and they like each other. A team with good chemistry. That's what I would see. That's what I see when I watch us.
Coach, you touched on it. Christian told us yesterday this is the best he's felt physically at this time of the year. Dexter, of course, was playing hurt last year. How important has been the depth on the defensive line? Guys like Huggins and Pinckney. You've got Jordan Williams back now. How important is that for this second half of the season?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that we really believe in and guys that, you know, can go win the game for us. So we're very confident, and it's big. I think our depth will prove very beneficial for us. And then some guys like situation with Chase, for him to be able to get the experience that he's gotten now, especially the last 3 games. He's had a chance to play and do some good things, and his confidence is really high. So I just think we're in a good place. What all the backs have been able to do, everybody's kind of had their moments, and you know, it's what we've been able to do at receiver, and we had a lot of guys that have taken another step at receiver, and then you throw in Justin Ross as well. It's exciting. It's an exciting group, an emergence of DK, and you know, I think what we've done in special teams has really been good, but the depth up front in that D-line has allowed us to keep, you know, Christian and Clee and Austin and Dexter really fresh. And when those guys are fresh and healthy going into game 8, that's a good thing for the Tigers.
Coach Scott was saying yesterday that Brian Burns might be the most explosive guy he's seen since Clowney. Is that kind of where he is right now?
Well, I mean, I don't know about all that. I can say I know he's the best we've seen at this point. I mean, he's fast and twitchy and long. He's not as big as Clowney. You know, I think he's. You know, Clowney was a heavier guy. This guy's. I mean, he's twitchy and athletic like that, but he's probably only about 230, so he's not as heavy, but he is disruptive and got great length. You know, he's giving everybody a problem. But all the ends, not just him. 11, 13, was it 94? The other end got what's that kid's last name? Funny last name. Aim Wawinski, is that his name? Wawinski. He's a good player. I mean, they got a bunch of them, but 99 is he's pretty special.
Jeff said yesterday that he felt that Trevor changed protections 80 times on Saturday. Would you say that was probably one of the biggest areas of improvement you've seen from him?
I think just the management, just settling into just the flow of the game within the game. That's part of it. You know, just to where the game is slowed down enough to where you're recognizing things, and some of it is just his manipulation of the cadence. We were getting teed off on, a couple games ago where we just, I don't think he was just kind of going out there, hut, give me the ball, and guys were teeing off on our cadence and just not really, manipulating the defense to get some tips and things like that so that you could see some pressures earlier. And I just think he was more focused on the plays as opposed to all that. But it's just, again, he's a young player, but it's just kind of slowing down for him. And he did an awesome job. And he's just settling in, making plays with his legs. He's very confident. He's seen a bunch of looks now. First of all, he's seen a gajillion looks against our defense. I mean, our guys, it's unbelievable what we have to prepare for every day with our defense, with the looks that they give us. And then now with 7 games under his belt and all the things that he's seen, there's only so many things you can do. And so I just think he's not a freshman anymore. He's a more seasoned guy and is a little more confident and in command of what he's doing out there.
You think his internal clock is about where it needs to be in terms of the pass rush, or
Yeah.
can he work on that a little bit,
Yeah.
taking off and running or getting rid of the ball?
I think he's made a lot of. I think early on, he's very confident in his arm, obviously, and he sometimes wants to. Teams are playing coverage, and he wants to sit in the pocket and make the tight throw because he knows he can. But there's a clock. You only get. I mean, you can only block those guys so long, and then also he'll sit in there, and then sometimes he wants to slide left or right, and that gets him in trouble because that's where we're blocking a guy. And next thing you know, you're getting sacked. And so that's just him growing up and managing the pocket and recognizing coverage. And that's what he did the other day. I mean, they went 2-man on us, 3rd and 10, and he did an awesome job. I mean, that's just part of the game, is him making plays with his legs. And that's what he did in the spring a lot. And that's where I was really so impressed with him early in the spring, was like, wow, this kid can run. But he wasn't as in command of what was going on. So he was running for his life in the spring. And now he's a lot more confident in what's going on. And so he's a little too patient in the pocket. And so, just extending some plays and getting some of those critical yards with his legs, when the coverage presents itself and the opportunity presents itself. And I thought he did a really good job with that last week for sure.
Yeah, but going back to roster management and depth, I was tracking the rest of the NCAA, and Alabama's playing 48, 50 players a game. You guys are playing upwards of 75 to 80-plus players a game over the last 4 or 5 games. Can you tell us how that will affect you further going along down the season, not just depth-wise, but in other areas?
Well, I mean, every year I think your roster's different, and for us, just so happens this year our roster is full of guys who we trust and who we know can go play and deserve to play. And so, I mean, I just believe that you play the guys that deserve to play, and this is the most veteran team that we've had. And then we've got a few dynamic freshmen, young guys that have emerged as well that deserve the opportunity to play. And so, I mean, we play them. I know we've got, I think, maybe the best running back in the country in ET. I mean, he's as good as there is. But we're going to play them other guys. And that helps him. And it helps, the competition and the investment and the morale of your team, all those things. You don't play guys to play guys. Everybody's got to be able to contribute to the win and help you win, and that's what I've seen. I mean, and then as you go through a season, the confidence that grows in your team, the selflessness that grows in your team, becomes very beneficial to you down the stretch. That's just what I believe. But I've also had teams where, we might have had some talent, but the drop-off was so big between the starter and the next guy, you weren't as free with how you subbed some of those guys. But with this team, we've just got a lot of guys that I don't really even pay any attention to. I know they're going to play, and they're going to play well. I mean, we got guys all over the field: safety, linebacker, D-line, offensive line, running backs, receivers, tight ends that we're very confident in, and so we play them, and coaches do a good job with that.
Dabo, how much better is your secondary now compared to, say, 2 years ago playing the ball in the air?
Well, you know, we'll see as we go, but I mean, we're doing a good job this year. This has been a really consistent group outside of a few busts against A&M. We had some poor plays there, but we're doing a good job. I mean, they're making plays on the ball. We had a bunch of pass breakups the other day, really competitive plays, and with good technique. And you know, we got the one pass interference on Mario, and you know that was close. But I think our guys have taken a lot of pride in it. But you know, Trayvon's a third-year player. Guys get better, and he's worked really hard on his craft. AJ, got good experience last year. I think the influence of Trayvon has been awesome for AJ. AJ and he's very focused. He's very detailed. He's very technique conscious, and he just takes a lot of pride. And he's long, so I mean we're very talented, and you got guys that care a lot about their technique. And then we're more experienced. So same thing with Kayvon. Kayvon's a third-year player now. Muse has been here 4 years. They're just better. And you know, Nolan is in his third season now, redshirt sophomore. Denzel is a redshirt junior in his fourth year. And so we're just a little more seasoned across the board. Mark has improved. He made a great play on the ball the other day, a nice pass breakup. He's not catching it very well when he's had some opportunities to catch it, but he has played the ball a lot better. So you know, just a really good group, and Mickey and Mike have done a great job with that group.
Tony said he's been trying to build an offense that has answers no matter what the defense does. How would you compare this group's ability to do that with some of the teams in the past, as far as what they try to take away?
Well, I think that you know our guys are confident, and because we've been able to get results doing that. You know, we've had games where go back to the Syracuse game where I mean we got to run the ball, and it was just a force the issue type of a deal. And if we weren't able to run it, we weren't going to win the game. And so we found a lot in our gap schemes and stuff, and backs made guys miss, broke tackles, guys made big blocks downfield, and we found a way to win the game. And then some of these teams that like to play coverage and try to stop the run with maybe one less guy, we've been able to demonstrate that we could run the football. And then, you know, a team like last week that really had the good ability to limit you in the run game and challenge you to see if you could make some plays, kind of put a little more pressure on the quarterback and the guys outside. Well, I think our guys, you know, threw for 380 yards on a good defense. And so, I mean, our guys are confident that we can run the ball and throw the ball. So I think we're one of the only teams out there that I think is as balanced as we are, you know, running and throwing. So I think we're in a good place. Still got a lot of room for improvement, but our guys are confident that we can throw and catch and we can run the football effectively, you know, based on whatever the defense has given us.
Coach, the next 2 weeks are noon kickoffs. I know on social media, Tiger fans have been begging for a primetime game at Death Valley. What are your thoughts on all the early starts this season?
They're always the same. You know, Clemson fans, they don't want to hear me say it, but I always say I don't care. Just tell me when to show up. I just don't care. I just want to play. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I know it's from a fan standpoint, it's probably very difficult because it's hard getting into Clemson. It's, you know, a lot of people travel a long way, and I get all that. But why am I going to worry about something I have zero control over? That is such a waste of my time. I'm trying to get ready for Florida. I could care less because I have zero control, none. Just like we played 16 straight night road games, 16 in a row. Night. road games. Several of them were game days. Well, I mean, it is what it is. We go play. That means we're home at 6 a.m. All right? I mean, that's just is what it is. You just go play the game. Get ready to play. Don't worry about it. I mean, I can't, there's nothing I can do about it. All I know is we get 7 home games. Now, if they called me and said, hey, we're only going to give you 6, well, I'd be mad about that. But we get 7 home games, and that's it. And, man, we'll play at 6 a.m., noon, midnight. I don't care. Just tell me when we're going to play. My job is to get the team ready to play. And I don't want my team worried about that stuff. It don't matter, you know. And I think for a long time that was one of the first things when I got this job. I mean, it was like, oh my God, well we only play good at this time, or we only play good when we wear this uniform. Oh, it's going to rain today. Whatever. Who cares? Let's play. You know. I mean, it's the same for everybody. And so we as a program, we don't worry about it. It just don't matter. Tell us when we're going to play, and we're going to get ready to play because we love to play. We love to play. So we're not going to complain. I'm thankful that we're on TV. There's a lot of teams out there that ain't on TV. I'm thankful that we're one of those teams that they want to put on a prime time. I know people don't like noon, but that is a prime time spot. I think it's the second. Tim said it's the second. Tim in here? Yeah. It's the second ratest.
We're on ABC National at noon.
Yeah, I mean the whole country's going to see Clemson. I mean it's just like the second highest rated spot there, outside of the night deal. So I don't know. I mean, I don't care. Let's go play the game.
Well, Coach, you mentioned after the game 2 years ago, that little post-game room there in Tallahassee, you were just happy to walk in there and smile as you're leaving it. What's the momentum, when you think about a moment like that, what still stands out to you from that night? And then what's it mean to have that win carrying back when you go to Tallahassee?
Well, just something that we hadn't done. You know, I think we'd only won there in 2006 and then 16 now. So, I mean, we hadn't had a lot of success down there, and it was something that we hadn't done, something I hadn't done as a head coach, and we'd been so close. Man, oh, man. I mean, I mean, it's like we went down there in 10, and they kicked the 55-yard field goal to beat us. We go down there in 12, and that's a crazy game. I think we got the lead, and they end up beating us in the fourth quarter, and then we're back down there in 14, got the game won about 3 different times, and I believe that's the game that we fumbled the ball right there at the end. We're getting ready to kick a field goal, and we gave up like a 80-yard touchdown pass with 5 minutes to play, and I mean just some crazy stuff in the game, and ends up going to overtime. We lose there, so I mean we'd had some bad things happen down there, so it was something that we hadn't done, and we were able to get that done. That was a big deal for us. And then certainly it was a part of, we probably weren't going to win the division if we didn't win that game. And so it was a huge part of that team's journey that year. And so I just think it gives you a lot of confidence because you know you've done something. And you know, I'm not having to come in here and answer questions. Well, you know, y'all haven't won there since 2006, and you know what, you know, is there voodoo there or whatever, you know, all that stuff. I haven't got one question on that today. So that's really what it does. It just kind of eliminates all of that conversation. And these guys know they can do it, but they also know how difficult it is. Florida State is they'll be one of the most talented teams we play.
Yeah, but can you talk about what it means for the seniors if they could win this game to go 4-0, the first senior class to go 4-0 against Florida State?
That'd be big. I mean, you know, again, this is a very prideful group that's very aware of the opportunities that they have outside of what our team goals are. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, they kind of all have their goals within the goals. A lot of things that they would love to do as a group, and certainly doing something that I don't think any ACC team has done. That would be a great accomplishment for that group.
Just kind of off the beaten path you were at, but I guess Willie Taggart came and visited when he was at Western Kentucky.
No, he was on his way to Oregon. Literally, like, stopped by on his way to Oregon, I think.
Staffs come in all the time to visit. How is that set up and scheduled? Is it just as simple as them just calling you up? And I know you send, you know, you guys go and see others. How does that all work? Do you do it in a certain time frame? Do you only take, like, you know, 5 different staffs to come visit?
Yeah, it's the coaching business is a unique fraternity. It really is. It's one of the I don't know. It's always been that way. Coaches get together, and I mean we have a convention every year, and you compete against each other, you recruit against each other, and then you get together and talk. I mean, I probably wouldn't have let him come if I was known he was only going to go for 10 months out there. I'd have said heck no. But there's certain people you're not going to let come in just simply because, and they don't let you come in because that's a rival, and it's not that you don't respect them or whatever, but you're going to play them every year, or maybe they're on your schedule the next year. But it's just something. I mean, we played Ohio State that first year, and then our staffs got together after the game, or that's it's always February through summer type of a deal. In the so-called off season, that's when coaches get together. And offensive coaches get together with offensive coaches and defensive coaches, because defensive coaches kind of their own fraternity, because they want to figure out how to stop these dadgum offenses, and offensive coaches get together and they want to figure out how to attack these defenses, and special teams coaches get together and share ideas and make each other better. It's just it's just always been that way. I know I'm thankful for that. When I got this job, I went out to Texas to visit with Mac Brown and for a couple days, and to this day, that's one of the best things I've done. I mean, he was awesome. He was so helpful to me as a first year head coach, and a lot of things that I really wanted to just kind of ask some questions about and get maybe some different thoughts or confirmations or whatever. And but we do that every year, and sometimes we go places. Sometimes people come to us. A lot of the pro people, we get together with them. We have clinics. We learn a lot from the high school coaches. We have big clinics, and people come from all over, and we sit in here and talk ball till 1 o'clock in the morning when we do those clinics on Thursday night and Friday night. And so it's a lot of fun. And then you study other people. I mean, that's what we do as coaches. I mean, when we're trying to get ready for Florida State, well, I mean, we're studying Northern Illinois. We're studying Virginia Tech, and we're studying Syracuse and Wake Forest and Miami and Louisville. We're studying all these people. And so you learn from other people too, things that maybe you do, and you go, oh, that's actually a good variance from what we do, something that's based. You can't change your offense every week or your defense, but you pick up things and nuances. You see how some people attack them, and so it's just you're constantly learning from each other.
Is there a coach that you haven't got together with, but you're like, wow, I'd really love to go visit them, or really love them to come here? Like, respect them from afar, but you've never got to interact with them?
Well, let's see. Think about that. There's probably a lot of guys. I mean, I've been fortunate to go on the Nike trip for the last several years, and that's always fun because there's usually about 20 coaches, and I've met a lot of people, like Mike Leach, for example. I've met him a couple times, and it's kind of neat to meet people that you're not around a lot. Coach Snyder, he's on the Nike trip every year, and so it's kind of neat to meet different coaches. I like the guy out there at Iowa State. I think he's an interesting guy. I met him one time in the airport. He's a guy I'd like to visit with at some point. There's a lot of guys that at some point I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with.
Mike Leach as eccentric privately as he is with the media?
Oh, no question. He is 100% authentic, no doubt about it. A lot of fun to be around.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.